We are live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. I am Aaron, aka the Handy Outdoor Nerd, and this sexy gentleman here to my left is...
I'm Chris, aka MrCarrellScience. How's everybody doing tonight?
So welcome to episode 28 of the AC Show. Alright, the background looks a little bit different because I'm using my iMac instead of my laptop. I wanted to actually use my Mac. I've been working in Fusion 360 on some projects, and I just started a print on it just a little bit ago. So let me officially tweet this out that we are live. Tweet has been sent. So yeah, the camera, it wasn't recognizing my webcam on this. Let's see if it will recognize my webcam now. Nope, still not. So still doesn't want to find my webcam, which is fine. The quality on this one's a lot better than my laptop.
Yeah, it looks good from my end.
Oh yeah. So I don't have everything opened up that I wanted to get opened up. So I'm going to kind of work on that. Let's pop that in there. So we are going to be talking about a couple of things for tonight's show. We're going to kind of recap on a couple of things. I've got links down in the description below for all the makers that you should go and check out all their YouTube channels. All right, come on. There we go. I need my saved files. Come on. Expand into more. Nope, saved right there. Facebook is being very, very slow right now.
Has nothing to do with you having a Mac. I promise.
No, it's nothing to do with the Mac. This Mac's actually faster than and better than my laptop is actually. So tab. All right. So this will be a recap of a couple of weeks ago. Share my screen.
We have a sidekick for a minute. Or no?
I suppose I don't have choice.
Oh, she's being cute.
So I decided to use Firefox as my browser choice right now, and it's apparently a pain in the butt.
Firefox is pretty good if you know how to use it, I guess.
Well, it doesn't allow me to do a green screen.
Firefox doesn't allow a green screen?
Not with this program. I tried it. All right, so most of you might remember Joe Mike. He was on 2 weeks ago for the AC show talking about the stuff that that makers are doing, what they're kind of 3D printing and stuff to help out. So this is a little bit of an update for everybody. Just let me know if you can or cannot hear it.
I don't hear anything. Don't hear it at all.
Anything?
No.
That's because Firefox is stupid.
Have you tried Chrome?
All right. I usually use Chrome.
I mean, have you tried Chrome on your iMac?
I've not got
Let
Chrome
me see.
installed on Mac yet. I always actually use Chrome, so yeah. Come on.
My wife just walked in. Can you have a sidekick? And I was like, for a little bit, I guess. I don't have a choice. So I got my little sidekick here.
Sidekick's always nice. Come on. Since
Just figured we'd do a little intermission show, you know, for the people to stay entertained while they're waiting for you to get your stuff set up. So those of you guys that don't know, I got 3 kids. This is my youngest, Emma Grace. She's having a hard time right now because she's teething.
oh, that's always fun. Always the time.
She's 8 months old.
Wow.
Hmm?
Safari wasn't letting me download Chrome. That was not liking that, but Safari never does that.
Oh, no, wait, no. A Mac having issues, that doesn't happen. Mac is compatible with everything. Seamless integration.
Well,
You don't have to worry about anything with a Mac because it's so compatible with everything.
yeah, it's all the other stuff that are in it that doesn't like to work with others, like Safari. No. You want this. Are you sure you want this? Yes, I'm sure.
Just in case anybody watching doesn't know, I'm not a huge fan of Apple computers.
I noticed.
I actually probably would like Apple if it wasn't so darn incompatible with everything. They're so unwilling to work with anything. Just to plug in a projector, it's like, oh yeah, you want to use a projector that's not an Apple projector? Here's a $60 fee for a stinking adapter.
I know it. Yes, I know. Just download the stupid thing.
Just
That's all I want.
Well, Aaron, maybe I'll talk about my print that I've been printing while you're trying to get that figured out.
That works for me.
So over the course of this last week, my wife was off work for a little while. She took some time off of work because it was supposed to be spring break, and so she took some time off. And then she ended up getting like 6 days off in a row or something like that. And while she was off was when the executive order from Governor Ducey of Arizona came out and said that we have now a stay-at-home order. And in the hospitals, they're changing their policies almost daily. It started out with if you went into a patient's room that was suspected of having COVID-19, you had to gown up and get all dressed up and everything, which it still is that way. But then it was you have to go. My wife's a nurse, right? So then it was every patient's room that you go into, you have to wear some sort of a mask, even if it's some sort of homemade mask. You have to have some sort of a barrier. And so my wife was wearing some homemade masks for a while. And then it was, you have to wear as a special hospital mask every time you go into any patient's room. So now it's gotten to the point where my wife has to wear a mask provided by the hospital. It can't be a homemade mask. It has to be a hospital provided mask. She has to wear it all day, every day, regardless of where she is. She has to wear these masks. And one of the problems with that is my wife is allergic to latex. And so just the simple thing of just having the little latex band go around her ear is, over the course of a 12-hour shift, it's rough. And so I found these little things that we featured them on the show not too long ago, where you put them on the back of your neck, and then you can hook the loops of the mask around it. And so I thought that was a really cool idea. I started printing some for my wife to take to work with me, and I said, Andrea, do you think that some people at your work would like them too? And she said, I don't know, maybe we can try. So I printed a few, like maybe 10 or so, and she took them with her to work, and the people that were there at work with her were like, nah, I don't know, I'm not sure if I like it. So I was like, whatever, no big deal. And then when she changed shifts and went to night shift, when the night shift nurses came in, they saw those things. They're like, what are these? And she's like, oh, my husband printed them. If you guys want them, you can have them. And they were gone in like seconds. And one of the nurses that was wearing one went into the ER one day to do something, and they saw her little ear saver and was like, oh, hey, that's really cool. Where'd you get that? And she's like, oh, I'll get you one. And then it just got to the point where now I've printed, I don't know how many of these things, like probably coming up on close to 100, I guess now that I printed.
Wow.
And I got a phone call from a neighbor of mine. This is a group, let me tell you, a group that is not being thought about very much right now is the postal workers. Yeah. So I have a neighbor who works for the post office, and she was like, I have to wear a mask all day long. She's like, I work 12-hour shifts, and the elastic loops around your ears, they just hurt after a while. She's like, I know you have a 3D printer, because I taught her son in school, so her son knew that I had one. And she was like, do you think you could 3D print me one of those things? And I was like, I've been printing them already. I'll just give you some. And she's like, well, my brother's a pharmacist, and he has to wear the masks all day long, and it bothers his ears. So it just kind of became this big thing where it's not so much like the face shields and the 3D printed masks. My area doesn't need any of that. But a lot of people in Arizona now are having to start wearing these masks all the time. And these little ear saver things are really kind of they're helping them a lot. And so I've just kind of been cranking them out. And I've printed probably close to 100, and I'll probably keep printing a few more. I got a phone call from another teacher at my school whose husband works in the ICU. And she was like, do you have some more of those things? Can you send them to the ICU? And so like, I've got a batch that's going to go to the ICU in the hospital, and the ER to the hospital, and the med surg floor, and all over the place, where people are asking for these little things. They're cool because they can be sanitized and sterilized, and they're, even though they're not perfect. I mean, the lady who works for the post office, she's like, usually I get to about noon, and then I'm just done, and I just can't wear the mask anymore because it just hurts, just too painful. And she said, I wore the ear saver thing, and I was able to make it to about 2:30. And so, I mean, not a huge difference, but I mean, it helps. And anything that I can do to help. And they cost, I mean, they probably cost, a penny a piece or 2 cents or something to print. So, and as much stinking filament as I have left over from Maker Geeks, I mean, the file that I got was free, and I've got so much filament left over from my Maker Geeks orders back in the day, back when Maker Geeks was a thing, that I've just been cranking them out. So that's what my printer's been doing. I have noticed that I've been having some nasty first layer issues. I'm noticing, because what I did is I filled my bed with these, and they're only like 2 layers tall because I've been printing at a 0.28 layer height. It's only 2 layers thick, and then it's like a third layer. You can't even really see it. It's like a third layer where these little ribs are. It's like a third layer on top of it. And so they print super fast. I print 7 in like under 2 hours. And but because they're so thin, I've been having a lot of adhesion issues because I've been filling my entire build surface with them. And I'm learning that my print bed is warped. It's not a super flat surface. And so because it's not flat, I've been having some places where it just stuck on a cord. It just doesn't want to stick. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not.
Not
A little
really.
bit, almost.
Yeah,
Almost.
Yeah, I can see a little bit.
Yeah, it's not great. And so that's the fight that I've been working on right now is I've got build tack on it right now, but it doesn't seem to matter how I level it. It just doesn't want to stick, even the build tack. So probably going to have to either order a new build tack sheet because this one's all scratched up, or try a PEI sheet, or I really want to order one of those Wham Bam magnetic sheets. So hey, Wham Bam Systems, if you guys are watching and you'd like to sponsor the show, I'm just letting you know that we got sponsorships available. What about you, Aaron? You been printing anything awesome lately?
Yeah, well, apparently that's not going to work, so I will send you the link. Chrome.
So I'm on
okay,
my
well,
phone
that-
right now, so I'm not going to be able to even show my screen or anything.
Okay. Okay, well, I will I'll put down in the links below. So what Joe's doing is he's giving an update on everything with all the stuff that they've been doing. So I will have down in this description below. Hey Brian, how's it going? And Ivy, we are not your baby.
I think she was talking about this baby.
I know. Just put baby and exclamation mark.
Although this isn't your baby either, this is my
So-
baby, and you cannot have her.
So I printed this. This is obviously not big enough, but this was going to be my son's Easter basket. I needed it a little bit bigger. I needed to do some more modifications to it, but
So did you design that?
no, I just configured it.
You remixed it. You biggered it.
Yep.
And I'll just keep biggering and biggering.
So I will try to have this in a link if I can before Sunday so people can have it printed if they want. You'll have to drill some holes in it to get it to where it has an Easter basket. And my plan was to paint the mask the color of one of them and then have the fabric on it, holding it as the handle. So my wife said, no, if he was older, yes, but he's not. So I went down to Thingiverse and I looked up Easter baskets. This I couldn't print on my small printer, so I had to slice it, and then I used gloop to bond it together.
Really? You 3D glued that handle.
Yep. So
She said no to the Ninja Turtle?
yeah, she said no to the Ninja Turtle.
Oh man.
But these are the huge Easter eggs, and I can set 6 in here of the big ones.
Nice.
How's
That's
the
cute,
dumpster?
man.
How's it going?
I doubt it, Cosmic Dumpster. Honestly.
Yeah, I doubt that.
But like, I wish Did you see that? Excuse me. Did you see that picture that? Oh boy, what's his name? Our buddy from Las Vegas.
Oh, Jeff.
Jeff, did you see the picture that he posted of the LA landscape on Twitter a couple days ago? Maybe yesterday, the day before?
Maybe.
He posted a picture taken from a rooftop in LA, a picture that was taken in December, and then a picture that was taken March 20th.
Oh, yeah. The smog.
And yeah, and you can see how much clearer the sky is. People are saying, you know, I've lived in LA my whole life. I've never seen the sky so clear. And so,
Yeah.
honestly, with as much rubber and latex and other things that are being bought up right now, I actually don't see it becoming more of a pollution problem than what we already have. If anything, I just see that the air pollution problem, people are going to maybe see, hey, you know what? We did a couple little things and look what it did to our environment, to our cityscape. And so I can actually see some positive things coming out of this whole scenario.
Yeah. All right. Now. Hey, Michael. Smog free, Brian says.
Smog free, yep. How you doing, Michael? I'm on my phone today, by the way, guys. So if something looks weird, like it's got this weird dark shadow across the bottom, and if my finger keeps going like this all the time, it's because I'm actually, you know, trying to look at the chat and stuff like that. And so I apologize if it's messing with you. It's just me trying to get stuff going.
All right. So, an artist creates 3D models of every D&D monster, and you can have them all.
For free?
Yes. So this guy, almost in the right spot. So there are 2,000 minis. 2,000 of them.
2,000, huh?
Yes. Now, some of these are more likely to print on an SLA printer than they are FDM. Like this one, he's got these tiny arms coming off. But like this dragon, you can definitely print. So after the show, I will have this linked down below. I found this. Someone had shared this on Facebook not too long before the actual show. So there's that one. And Joe's video link down below, since things are being a bit ridiculous. So there's that. Let's see. Close. Close. So I've actually got a print going right now. And I will show you what I am printing. Oh, come on.
You know, I actually feel kind of bad. A couple of years ago, I had some pretty good friends of mine ask me. They said, "Hey, can you 3D print some D&D minis?" And I was like, you know, I've never done it before, but I'll try. And they said, "How many can you print for us?" And I said, "Oh, you know, as many as you need. Just let me know what you want, and I'll try and print them." Next thing I know, they gave me a list of 2,000 minis to print, and I said, "Listen, that's just more than I'm going to be able to do." Okay. I was thinking they'd be like, "Well, we've got like 5 friends and we want all of our mains, you know, 3D printing." And I'd be like, "Oh, okay. You know, I could print 5 or 6, no big deal." I did not expect 2,000.
Yeah.
It was a little much. I was like, I can't even get one.
If you want every single D&D mini printed, you're gonna need to pay for that.
Well, and it's not even the fact that because they would have given me money for it. I mean, they wouldn't have paid me a ton of money for it, but they're like, we'll give you some money to compensate you or whatever. But it's like, I don't like doing 3D printing stuff for money, especially for friends or whatever. It's just the ability to print 2,000 minis for someone. That's more work and time and effort than I just
they don't
have to dedicate to it.
They have to understand you've got to get it with support. You got to make sure it's going to print, and it's got to go slow.
Yeah.
Now, whenever I did some Pathfinder D&D with a group of friends, I was DMing, and I printed a little mini for each person that was in our group, and I gave that to them. That was my gift to them for it. So. All right, so I've got this little guy printing right now. I was actually working on it earlier.
It's a box.
It is. Come on. If you look at it like that, it looks like a face.
It does look like a face.
Happy, angry. So what that is
Surprised.
this.
Oh, seriously, cannot see that at all. At least I can't. Not for my phone.
Oh, here, let me
Hi.
minimize.
Hi.
So
Did
this
it break?
Well, I broke it.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
the thing was, I was drilling these holes out to make it fit a little bit better, and I drilled them too big. So this was to my my MBOT printer. So what I'm doing is printing that piece to go on the rest of this. That way the top part sits down here.
And what is that?
Hold it all together. That's to the X and Y carriage for MBOT.
Oh, I see. That's your carriage.
Yep.
I gotcha.
So that's what that's for. Yes, robot face, Brian.
It looks. I was gonna say, it looks like Welbot.
So that is what I was working on earlier, getting kind of modeled up so I can try to get
You want more bread?
other things printed bigger, because this is big in and of itself, but the fact that I can't scale it up any bigger either which way, because it will stick over the sides of my z-axis, of my x, y, and my y. Now, if you look at this one, yes, it's much taller, but it's wider at one spot. So, not a lot that I can do for that.
Right.
And my print is very close to being done. So let's pull this up. It says 35 minutes, and I started before the stream. About 30 minutes in. So I will have that one done and pull it off the print.
So it should be done soon.
So I can show you. Yeah.
Nice.
So then I can give it a shot on this guy and see how that's going to work. But yeah, so I'm super excited about that. Where is my window? Firefox.
You know, it's to the point where I'm wondering if this is a bad model, because it seems like all of them have issues on just one particular side. Like the same spot, regardless of where it was on the build plate. Regardless of where it was on the build plate, they all... Well, I'm thinking of maybe designing my own. This is just one that I found that somebody had said they had modified to make it easier to print or more flexible or something. I was thinking of designing my own, and then I was thinking about stacking it so that they were all in a line, so I could stack, so I could do like 5 or 10 all at once, and then I could stack, 5 stacks of 10 on my printer, and then it might take, 15 hours, or by the time I'm done, I've got 50 of them. And
Yeah.
I was thinking about trying it.
Design and do that.
I've been thinking about trying it. I've been seeing people do that with the face shields. Trying to stack them up like that. I'd like to try that too. I just need to, because I'm wondering, because I'm having that issue on like most of them, and I thought that maybe it was my build plate, but now that I go back and think about it, I'm wondering, because I just brought one model in and then I multiplied it, I'm wondering if it just got brought in poorly first time.
I mean,
have to try it. I'll figure it out.
I got another thing to talk about, but I don't have it up here on my desktop, so I will have to go in. Let's see. Come on. There we go. And all right, I know you guys heard me talk a little bit about the Geek Foundation now and again. So the Geek Foundation is an innovative nonprofit providing free interactive education resources. And as you can tell, I'm just reading from right there. So they help support future tech professionals, enthusiasts, and makers. So what they do is they actually give you something. They are based here in Missouri, so in Springfield, Missouri. They actually help people get into coding.
Ouch.
So
your printer finishing?
learn. Yeah, it literally just finished.
Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum,
Once you get
ba-dum.
into it, pick your path. So from ages 7 to 17, 18 plus is free, and then 18 plus paid. So, okay, well, 18 and older, let's learn for free. So you go into it. So Free Code Camp, lynda.com, they offer things. Here in Springfield, if you're in Greene County, the Greene County Library, I think even Polk County, most libraries nowadays will offer lynda.com subscription for free in your library for your library subscription. Academy. So see, this one's got free and paid. This one's got free and paid. So free access, and so this is for Greene County, library. But there's other places that will probably have it as well. But so in-person learning opportunities. So if you guys are around here around Springfield, these are options you can do. There is a link to this. And you don't need to be around Springfield to do some of this. Like go into Free Code Camp. It's free for anybody. But this gives you a link if you want to try and learn coding to do something else with your life, to kind of get a different career opportunity. So Google, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Spotify. So it's kind of the text right here is how it actually looks whenever you're into it. Let's see. Sign in and get started. So one of the co-founders I actually know, and one of the co-founders used to work at one of my favorite non-existing anymore 3D printing filament company.
Maker Geeks, really?
Yep, she used to work for him before he went under, and I'm actually going to take the screen away so I can sign in.
I didn't know she worked for Maker Geeks.
She did, and she got out of there before it went under. And so, yeah, she started Geek Foundation.
That's awesome,
While
man.
this is loading up, I'm going to grab my part.
We need to get her on the show sometime. By the way, guys, I hope you guys are all well. I mean, it's kind of a crazy situation still in the world, and everyone's kind of stuck inside. And hope you guys are finding a way to keep yourselves occupied and stay safe.
All right, so got my part right here. I decided to print it in Amazon Basic laser filament. There we go. All right.
Hey, Aaron, I got to run for a second. I'll be right back.
No problem. All right, so the part, now I did print it and I scaled it up. I need to actually scale it the opposite way whenever I redo it. It did not like the actual sizing of it, which is why I do what I do whenever I test print. So you can kind of see, let's minimize Chris for a moment. It's got an overlap to it. So, but that, let me see on how that needed to set. But I think I got my actual circle diameter properly done. Hey, 3, how's it going? All right, now I'll add him back in and then I'll pop this up. So for those who want to learn free coding, link is in the description. You see how I've gotten here. You can sign in with Facebook. It doesn't really matter. You can use your email address. So freecodecamp.org. You can just go straight there. Excuse me. But this will help you kind of learn some. Now it's going to teach you HTML and HTML5. So you just start there. And then you just kind of get in here and then you can test it. So see, it says hello. It's going to load real quick. It's a little slow. Or is it going to let you see all that? Okay, well, it's not letting you see, but to the right over here, it says hello. I don't know why it's not showing up on the screen. That's just weird. But you just kind of follow the instructions it has. And then once you're done, you just hit run it. And then it tells you what this should say. So you just goes through each time and just walks you through it. So that is free code camp. So if you guys want to try that out, since a lot of people are, stuck at home, several people don't have their jobs and can't do anything, that will allow you to, kind of broaden your horizons a little bit. So we truly like to empower everybody to be able to do more stuff if they can. And that's one way I think you guys can. Now, in an upcoming show, I'm not sure when, we will have an interview with one of the co-founders of the Geek Foundation. It will be a pre-recorded one, and we'll just be kind of talking about it, just kind of let her talk about it and tell what it's all about and everything. They are set up excuse me, some courses that they can go and get done. They've actually been getting some printers so they can actually have a little maker space for people to come in and work as well. So that's going to be nice whenever they get that up and going. I was kind of helping them find some printers for it. So that will be an upcoming thing. If anybody has any questions, just let me know on that. Dang it. I don't know when Chris is going to be coming back. Let's see. But while I wait for Chris, I'll just pop this up. And I know that I need to go a little bit smaller on the size. Let's get the correct piece. Let's say that needs to go opposite direction there. So let's go and edit my sketch. Distance. And he's back.
I am back. Sorry about that, guys. What are we working on here, Aaron?
Oh, I'm just working on fixing this just a little bit. So I got the part off. I mean, it looks good. It's just a little bit oversized for connecting to this, which is perfectly fine. I just kind of didn't think on when I was extruding it, on the directions I was extruding certain things out.
Gotcha.
That's what test prints are for. So, but yeah, I kind of walked through and went into coding a little bit on that course.
That could be cool. One of my robotics teams has to code their own robot, and not like the Lego robots. They're pretty simple because they use a block-based coding, and so you just kind of drag and drop the bricks into place. Whereas the other robotics team uses JavaScript, and so it's been a lot more complicated. It's a huge, steep learning curve. These kids who have never coded a robot before in their entire lives, and then they're just thrown immediately into JavaScript. It's not the easiest thing. And so that would be a really cool resource that I could use to help them kind of figure it out.
Oh yeah, so yeah, there's definitely plenty of places you can go to learn coding for free. You can kind of find on JavaScript and all that. So yeah. Let's see.
So I'd be interested in knowing what you guys are doing to keep yourselves busy, keep yourselves occupied during this time.
Yeah.
You know, like what have you guys had more time at home to do more projects? Me personally, I feel like I haven't had as much time at home because I've been doing all my schoolwork, and trying to work from home as a teacher is not as easy as I thought it was going to be. I find myself getting distracted a lot more by my kids, and so it's been harder for me to get some of my projects done. But this weekend, I vowed this weekend it was going to be my weekend off. I'm going to work on stuff just for my family, spend time with my family, and I'm not going to stress about school until we go back on Tuesday. So.
Oh yeah, well, that's good. Oh, so I don't know if you've noticed, Chris, but my eye is a little gimp. It doesn't open up all the way. I actually got a cut on my eye. Something went into it. Went into 2 of the 15 layers of my cornea.
Wow. What'd you do?
Well, nothing really.
Just
I mowed
happened?
the other day, and I was in the shower, and all of a sudden something got in my eye. And so I went to work one night with a patch over my eye. And good Lord, I do not recommend doing stuff for 8 hours that you have to focus on when you have to hold
With only one
eye. Your eyes want to move around. Well, your eyes want to move around, and when this one needs to set still, it will try to track with the other eye. And then whenever you're trying to look around like normal, and also looking at a computer screen is different. But when you've had your eye closed for 8 hours, and then you got to leave to go home, I was able to open my eye, get it to say open by propping it open, and I drove home some that way on my way home. My drive to work wasn't bad, but my drive home sucked. And I actually, from having my eye closed that entire time and then getting to have it open some, I actually got car sick while driving.
Really?
And I never get car sick.
Well, so what I know about motion sickness is that it's caused by an imbalance between what your brain thinks it's supposed to be there and what is actually there. And so if you have an ear infection or something like that, then it can cause motion sickness because your inner ear is what helps with balance. And so if your ear feels like you're pointing one direction, but your eyes are seeing you pointing a different direction, that's what causes motion sickness. So if you've had one eye covered up all day and you didn't have any depth perception, and then all of a sudden you had depth perception, I could see that tricking your brain into a bad evening.
Yeah.
Or morning in your case, I suppose.
Yeah, it was not fun. Not fun at all. So I got home, and my wife was on the couch with our son, and I said, "What time did he wake up?" She said, 5. I said, "Sorry, I'm going to go lay down because I feel like I'm about to sick up." It definitely was not fun.
Have I told you the story of the time that my wife poisoned me with eye drops?
I don't think you have. And yes, it is doable.
So, well, I mean, she wasn't trying to kill me. She just gave me the wrong eye drop. So one day my both of my boys had pink eye. This was last year before my daughter was born. This is, towards the end of the school year. Both my boys had pink eye, and my father-in-law is an eye doctor. And so, we called him up, said, hey, both of these boys have pink eye. Can you get us some antibiotics? So he got us some antibiotics. We were putting them in the boys' eyes for a couple of days, but the bottle is it's microscopic. It's tiny little bottle of antibiotics. And one day we put it in the diaper bag or something, we couldn't find it. And so we called them up and said, hey, do you have any more of these eye drops? Because our boys they really need it. And we lost the bottle. So
yep.
He says, I've got another bottle here in my fridge at home. Why don't you come get it? So my wife went over to go get this bottle, and she comes back with this gigantic bottle. I mean, it's huge. And I was like, are you sure this is the right stuff? It doesn't look right. And she goes, no, that's the right stuff. And I said, okay. So she had put it in my boys' eyes before they left her parents' house. And then she handed me the bottle, and I said, my eyes are feeling, I kind of had a runny nose all day and stuff. And I was like, I want to make sure I don't have pink eye. So I just started taking antibiotics anyways. So I put the eye drops on my eyes, and I said, Andrew, these burn like really bad. And she goes, no, they don't. And I said, I'm telling you, these burn like a lot. They're really hurting. And she's like, antibiotics don't burn in your eyes. And I said, I'm telling you, it burns. And about 5 minutes later, all of a sudden I couldn't see anything. It was blurry, and everything's blurry. And I'm looking around, and I can't see even like the hand in front of my face, can't see anything. And I'm like, I'm going blind, Andrew. I was like, there's something wrong with these eye drops because I can't see a thing. And she looks at it. Her dad had accidentally given her the dilation drops. Like, when you go into the eye doctor and you get your eyes checked and they have to dilate your eyes. So, so my boys had taken two doses of the dilation drops, and I had taken the dilation drops, and I couldn't see anything. And I had to write a lesson plan. I had to do a specific lesson plan because the next day I was being formally observed by my principal. And so I had to have a super succinct and precise lesson plan because I was going to be observed that day. So I opened up my computer so I could work on my lesson plan for the next day. And as I was trying to type, I couldn't read what I was typing. And so what I had to do is blow up the screen to 500% so I could read what it was that I was typing. And I was like this close to the computer trying to see what I had written. Okay. And then even the next day, I was still noticing the effects, and bright lights were giving me a headache. My eyes were still dilated the next morning. And so my principal came in, and I was giving a lesson, and I just had one little light on, and the rest of the classroom was dark, and the kids were taking notes in the dark. And I'm sitting there teaching my lesson in the dark. And she's like, what's going on? And I was like, well, let me tell you a story you're never going to believe. So as far as eyes go, I got a pretty funny story. It wasn't on purpose or anything, but oh boy, I could not see for 2 days.
I bet. That would suck. That would totally suck.
How are your potatoes doing, Aaron?
They're actually doing good. You wanted to talk about your garden, didn't you?
Yeah, so I finally got my garden planted. We had some I got a little seed starter kit, the little pods that you fill the tray with water and they swell up and you plant seeds in them or whatever. So I got one of those seed starter kits and we filled it up, and the very next day we already had some sprouts. And I was like, man, that was really fast. And then, I didn't really have time to plant. I figured it was going to take 2 weeks or whatever before we finally saw any growth. But like within a week, they were like trying to push the lid off of the little mini greenhouse. And I was like, man, I got to get these planted. So I went out to my backyard. I dug up the ground and I got a kind of not really a raised garden bed, but I put it in a slanted area. So I ended up having it like half raised or whatever. And so I dug up a bunch of soil and stuff and tilled it up. And then I went and got some potting soil, some garden soil from the hardware store, spread it out and mixed the native soil about half and half with the garden soil. And we got a bunch of rows planted. And the very next, we'd had an onion sitting on our counter that started to sprout. It started to grow. And I said, you know what, maybe I should just plant this onion since I'm already planting stuff. So I planted a whole bunch of stuff. We planted all of our seeds or whatever. And I was pretty satisfied with our little garden we had going. And then the next day, Elliot goes out to water the garden. And when he goes out there, he comes back just crying and crying and crying. I said, what happened? He said, Dad, I think there's a gopher hole. There's like a crater in the middle of our garden. And I was like, what? So I went outside. I looked at it. It was not a gopher hole. It was my dog went in and ransacked our garden because I didn't have a fence around it. So I went in and there's paw prints in half the rows, and he had stolen our big onion and had pulled it up out of the ground and had eaten our onion and pulled up half of our plants got pulled up. And so Elliot was just so sad. So I went and got some big posts, pounded them in around the garden, and we now have a fence, a little chicken wire fence around the garden. But it actually looks pretty nice. We've got quite a few things growing. I got some green beans that are almost a foot tall. And I got a bunch of carrots sprouting up. I've got I got corn. My little corn plants are about 4 or 5 inches tall right now. And so already I feel like I've had more success than any other garden I've ever planted. So that's pretty good. I've got some watermelon, some cantaloupe sprouting up. So I'm excited, man.
Awesome. So yeah, I've got stuff. I need to start my seeds soon. But
your season is different than mine's season because it's colder where you are.
my
But
season is, yeah, it was
Right.
actually around 30 degrees today. But
well, it's like
So
mid
this-
80s right now. Yeah. What you got going on there?
that is my freshly tilled garden.
Nice. Did you use a tiller or did you shovel it? Because I had to do it with a shovel.
I did neither of those. That was courtesy of the ag teacher at the school here using his tractor and its tiller it has on it.
Dang. You got
It's 40 by
connections,
12.
man. 40 by 12.
Yeah, so 40
You
by
know-
12.
You know how big my garden is? It's like 6 by 8.
3.
It's like 6 by 8. Yeah, it's just
there
some
you go.
cedar pickets that I my goal with all of these projects that I've been doing at home is to try and do it without spending any money. You know, I'm trying to be as frugal as possible and just use up what I've got. And I made some snowflakes out of cedar pickets. And so I had some cedar pickets just kind of laying around. They're already 6 feet long. And so I just grabbed my cedar pickets and I screwed them together and I ended up with it's about 6 by 8 garden area. And then I just dug some little hills on the side to plant some watermelon, some cantaloupe.
Nice.
And then I repurposed everything.
I'm gonna-
I found some chicken wire and
Nice. Yeah, I've got some more.
so
I'm gonna grab my
I think I
laptop so I can try and save Right.
But I think I bought the fence posts. I bought like 4 fence posts, and I bought the seeds and the seed starter kit. So all in all, probably total I spent maybe $30 on my whole garden.
That's not bad.
So
That's not bad at all. Let me go grab my
think I did
laptop
well.
so I can save my file, so I can actually show something that I've been working on that I'm going to share so everyone can use.
we're at the 1 hour mark, so Aaron, can you hear me?
Yep.
So while you're working on that, I got this weird problem with a laptop. A friend of mine brought over a laptop to my house. She was like, maybe you can figure out what's going on with this thing. So she's got this laptop. The Wi-Fi doesn't want to turn on. And it's the most crazy thing. You click the Wi-Fi button, turn it on, and it turns on and then immediately shuts itself off again. It is the weirdest thing, man. You ever see something like that?
Well, if only we knew it. I can't say that I have. If only we had a friend that was possibly in chat that did text them. Brian.
You talking about Brian? I don't know if he's even here still.
No idea.
But man, it's the craziest thing. So I don't know if any of you guys saw, I posted on Twitter a few days ago. So the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints had issued a call for a worldwide fast, and they asked for regardless of what religion or denomination or whatever you belong to, they were asking everyone to fast for some relief from this pandemic that's really it's attacking the entire world right now. And so what we believe a fast is you abstain from food and drink for 2 meals or 24 hours. So for example, you eat dinner and then you skip breakfast and lunch and then you eat dinner the next day. And so that's the way that we've done it. The problem is though, I'm diabetic and I've been taking this medication that if I don't eat, my blood sugar drops. And so today I fasted for as long as I could, but I decided because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to do a 24-hour fast, I've been abstaining from technology. So all day long, Aaron, that you've been texting me, it's actually been my wife responding to you because I wasn't actually even allowed to touch my phone today. So
Nice.
so I've been trying to stay off of technology as much as I possibly could. In fact, logging on to this stream is actually the first tech device that I've used all day long.
Well, there you go.
But I had actually planned on trying to fix that laptop today. But trying to stay off of technology, as I'm trying to do whatever I can to make some sort of a sacrifice, you know what I mean? Because I can't fast from food, because if I fast from food, I could literally die. And so for me, instead of fasting from food, I tried to fast from technology. My kids put on a movie earlier. They watched Onward. Have you seen Onward?
I have not watched it yet.
It's pretty good. So my kids put on Onward, and instead of sitting here and watching it, I went into the other room and I read a book. And I'm like, man, last time I sat down and read a book, it was great, man.
I do enjoy reading a good book. Just normally I don't have the time because I've got a bunch of other stuff to do. So
I'm right here with you, buddy.
but
Right
I
here
do
with
listen to
you.
my audiobooks. So
I listen to audiobooks. Goncho.
it makes it nice because I get to enjoy it. I have been listening to the Load. The Expanse series by James S.A. Corey.
Have not heard of that one.
And I am on book 3, and it has been awesome. It's gotten so much better. It's just
Nice.
It takes place in outer space. A lot of the books that I have read and listened to have been, well, I've listened to space and read space ones like The Martian and stuff like that. But this one takes place in space, and there's a bunch of ships and everything. It's just been so enjoyable. I've enjoyed the heck out of it.
I've been listening to a lot of fantasy books lately. I've been listening to the Stormlight Archives.
I'm waiting for him to release the new Stormlight Archive book.
It's coming this year, isn't it? November, I think.
November.
Yeah. I've been really waiting for what is it? The King Killer Chronicles. I think we've talked about that before. I don't think that you've read them yet, though.
Yes, I have.
The King Killer Chronicles, you have?
Oh, yes, I have.
I did not know that. How have we? Maybe we haven't talked about this.
It intertwines. Actually, it's in the universe as Stormlight Archives. And
Is
actually, some of the people in the King Killer ones are in Stormlight, and I'm just like, oh, my friend pointed it out. I was like, oh my gosh, I totally see it now.
No way. Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
I'm gonna have to. Really, is there a page about this? Like, is that something I can just look up?
Yeah.
Because I've been waiting. Because they're not by the same author, right?
No, it is from the same author.
No, really?
Yep.
Hang on. Hold on a second. Wait.
Doesn't believe me.
No, it's not.
Brandon Sanderson.
It is not the same author.
Mr. Brandon Sanderson.
No, look. No, it's Patrick Rothfuss.
Oh, Rothfuss.
Wow.
Patrick Rothfuss. This is the King Killer Chronicles. Yeah, this is the one.
Oh no, never mind. My brain was in a different one on a different book. But no, I've listened to the King Killer Chronicles.
Yeah, the one about Kavoth, where he's like that bartender or whatever. However, I haven't listened to it. This is not one that I listened to on audiobook.
He runs the inn.
Yeah, he's the innkeeper. So I read The Name of the Wind.
Yep.
I read The Name of the Wind, and then The Wise Man's Fear is the second one. And then there's supposed to be another one coming out sometime soon, sometime this year, I think. But then there's also like a side. There's a short book that is about the girl that he meets that lives in the sewers. Do you know who I'm talking about? And it's called The Slow Regard of Silent Things. Have you read that one?
Yes. I can't say that I've done that one yet.
No, it's pretty good, and I have it. I mean, not that you live next door that I could just run it over to you, but
True. No, the Stormlight archives. There's a short story on that, and I've done that one. So.
Let me run this by you real quick while we're on the stream, waiting for you to get your laptop all fixed up. Have you thought about?
Laptop's done. I'm just waiting for Fusion.
Have you thought about starting a Twitch channel?
I have a Twitch account.
I do too.
So
I was thinking about starting a Twitch channel, calling it the AC Show, and just sharing all the information with you. And then because StreamYard allows for multicasting, we could stream on Twitch and YouTube at the same time.
You have to pay for it to do that.
To do multicasting?
It was free, but then they took that away.
As all good things.
And now you have to pay for it. So
someone will pay dearly for this. Let us know in the chat, guys, if you guys are watching or paying attention at all. If you think that it'd be easier to pay attention on Twitch, something like that, then it might be worth it to head over there. If we got enough subscribers or enough interest over, I don't know what the 3D printing live stream Twitch database is like, but if we had enough people that were interested, that might be something we could look into. Might actually be more popular than on YouTube, maybe. Who knows? I really thought that we had talked about the King Killer Chronicles, and you said that you hadn't. Said you hadn't read them.
I have gone over them. All right.
There's
for whatever reason, it's taking forever to update and load. So here, this is. It's not.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's my little seed starter thing that I'm working on. That's 3D printable. So you print it, and I've got it actually set for any sized format printer. So you can print it on, mostly size. So mine goes up to 100. The small one's 140 millimeters. And so I've got it set so it'll print on that one. But you can print multiple ones, and then you can actually connect them together and have a big cedar starter tray. So
my small printer is 120 by 120.
Okay. Well, this is still probably fit. Let me see the size. And that's why I say on most small printers, it should print. I don't know why it's not loading up yet and popping up there, but okay, so this is saying 160. Yeah, but you can also scale it down. So
That's true. I could just scale it down.
So I may end up going over and using it and just kind of doing another template like this, and then just making it smaller for others to use. Grief! I don't know why you're not updated already and popping up on the screen. See, I thought I had worked on it on the Mac, but apparently I hadn't. So here's my laptop. And it's going over Wi-Fi, so it's being really slow on updating that apparently. But I saved it. See, got. Make sure I got Fusion turned on for data real quick. We'll end this here in just a minute. All right, Fusion. See if it shows up on my phone. Of course I have to log in. Because it's been forever, apparently. Well, do you have any closing remarks, Chris?
You know, it's like I was saying before. I really hope that you guys are all staying safe. I hope you guys are keeping your sanity. That you guys are going outside. I'm not saying go gather with a bunch of people. Don't go to the park and send your kids on a slide because we all know what kind of germ factories those are. But go on a walk, go on a hike, go somewhere that there's not going to be other people around. Keep your social distancing, but try and get out and do something just fun because otherwise you'll just drive yourself insane. If you don't get out, you got to take care of your mental health. It's not going to do you any good to take care of your physical health and not take care of your mental health at the same time. So do your best, try and get out, go outside, plant a garden, play in your backyard or whatever you got to do. But hope you guys are all staying safe.
Plant yourself a
bucket.
Victory garden, or as we can call it, a COVID garden now.
Do a bucket garden or whatever if you have to. Find yourself a way to keep busy because have you seen did you watch that episode of Mythbusters where they talked about cabin fever?
Probably.
But they just lock Adam in this cabin for like 3 days, and he snuck like a coat hanger or something like that. He was able to they searched him and everything. He somehow snuck like a coat hanger in, or he pulled it out of the closet or whatever, and he had like a little pair of pliers, and he made like a little machine that you like turn the handle and it makes like a little bicycle move and stuff like that. And it was just it was all about what you can do to keep yourself from going crazy. You just have to find something to keep yourself occupied. So stay safe. Know that we love you guys, and if you need anything or help or whatever, just hit us up. We'll do whatever we can to help take care of you.
Yes, our links to our social media accounts are in the description down below. Next week we will be on Chris's channel, and we will catch you all next week. Same time, same place, same corny dad jokes. So till then, everybody, take care. We'll see you then.
See ya.